Hello, everybody, and welcome to the XNX Talk podcast, on which we will be discussing the happenings of the world and the internet as well. However, we may have guests in future episodes, but today, my friend Zaranth and I are going to be discussing our gaming likes and dislikes. So, Zaranth, do you want to start off with some video games you like, or would you like me to go first?
I'll let you go first, seeing as you're the honorable host of the podcast.
Okay, so, if you ask me, my all-time favorite video game, well, not all-time favorite, just the one that I've enjoyed specifically in the past year or so, GTA Online's been particularly nice because there's just so much you can do in that game, and I feel like it just never gets old if you're doing the right stuff, like races and everything. They just seem really fun a lot of the time, unless you just do a lot of them non-stop, in which it gets pretty boring. But other than that, a couple more things that I like about GTA is like the housing aspect, right? Because you can buy a bunch of different apartments, and I also like how recently they've added a system in which you can have like 6 of them. I think it's 6, isn't it?
Yeah, I know they increased it. I don't know if it's to 6 though.
Yeah, you can have maybe 5 or 6. I don't know. It's a number around there. But anyways,
Yeah.
it's kind of cool because you can have that many apartments, and then you can have, I don't know, a lot of cars. I don't know the exact number. I'm not good at math. But anyways,
The amount of cars now is ridiculous.
yeah, it's ridiculous, especially with like all the flying stuff they have now. It's kind of unnecessary if you ask me, but I mean, they can do what they want, I guess. But
Yeah.
other than that, a few other things, yeah, like you said just a minute ago, they've gone pretty overboard with the vehicles and stuff like that. I don't know if you saw anything about the Oppressor 2. It's that motorcycle that they added that can fly. It has like a gun on it, and it also hovers. I don't know why they added that, but
Yeah, honestly, the Oppressor one was enough. I think the second one was
honestly,
to an excessive point.
if you ask me, I thought it was pretty cool, the first one, more so than the new one, because it had like the land vehicle aspect to it, and it also had like a flight sort of thing to it where you could just glide. It wasn't like actual flight. But then with the Oppressor 2, you
Yeah.
have it, so you're just flying all the time.
Yeah, because with the original, it was cool because it was kind of a skill thing. You had to learn how to do the gliding itself and all that.
Yeah. Then there's just some idiots that fly around and just kill everybody, but that's another thing to talk
That's
about.
part of the experience.
Yeah, it's always fun. But like I said, GTA is just a really fun game because, as you know, there's a story mode and everything, and that's really fun unless you play it like 10 times, which I probably have at this point. But yeah, other than that, it's just all the activities that they have, like all the Halloween events that they always have, like the Angels and something game mode where you just have to. It's like a death match basically. It's like the last team standing thing. That's really fun, and then like I said, all the races. That's probably mostly what I enjoyed about GTA 5. What about you? What's your favorite game of like this year or just recently favorite game?
That's tough. Because I'm very much a flavor of the moment guy. I mean, the most recent game I picked up is the one I want to say is my favorite, basically. But I suppose I can say one that I kind of have a bit of a dislike for is the new Assassin's Creed.
Oh yeah.
Odyssey, actually. Since I played Origins, and Odyssey really is just more of the same. I didn't play it too much, but it just doesn't really feel different enough to warrant that extra purchase.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess if you like the whole like 2 main characters thing, you'd be like the boy or the girl. That's kind of cool.
Yeah, I saw something about
One
that. It
thing
was
I
kind of
noticed-
weird.
Yeah. Well, apparently, I don't know what the truth about it is, but so some people say it was originally just going to be a dude, then they added the girl later. But if you read like the official books, the girl is the like canon main character.
Yeah.
So I don't know what happened. But
I mean,
there's some controversy.
That's
about
kind of
that.
cool either way, though, because I mean, you can play as either one. Like that goes with your personal preference. I don't know. I haven't played the game, so I don't have any experience with it. But I mean, that's kind of cool that they have a choice between the two.
Yeah, for sure.
Is there anything else you like about that game? Any complaints about it? Other than
I
what
think
you've
the
said?
game's really pretty, I will say. Just the contrast from Origins, which was generally kind of, well, very, very brown and yellowish because it is a desert. They really spruced up the color in
Yeah.
ancient Greece. And I think it looks really nice. I actually played it through Project Stream, where you can play it for free using like a Google streaming service, and it has remarkable quality for what I expected for a free service. That's
Yeah.
actually available until the 15th, so you could play that.
Ooh, yeah, I might give that a look here later. I
Yeah,
don't know, if you ask me, when I think about Assassin's Creed, I've never really thought of visuals in like as much as like the gameplay, because I just really enjoy the parkour mechanics and stuff like that. So I haven't really worried about the visuals too much, but it is a big factor, I guess, if you think about it that much. But other than that, yeah, I just like Assassin's Creed for the combat and everything. I remember my favorite was probably Brotherhood or Assassin's Creed 3.
Oh yeah.
Those are...
My first one was actually Revelations, which is kind of, I guess, the worst of the Ezio trilogy, people say.
Honestly, I liked Revelations a lot. It was pretty good.
Yeah.
It wouldn't...
I mean, I'm pretty...
Go ahead.
Go ahead.
Oh, I was just gonna say it's not nearly as good as like Brotherhood or anything else like that, but I mean it's still a solid game.
Yeah. I remember it was silly. I don't want to say like life changing. That's a little stupid, but man, that was a fun game. I put way too much time into that when I first got it. That's all I played for weeks.
I really enjoyed the map on that one, and you could ride horses and stuff in that, right? If I'm not mistaken.
I think Revelations didn't have horses.
That might have been Assassin's Creed 3. I don't remember.
2 has horses. I know that.
Yeah.
Because I think in Revelations there's no like countryside. You're just in Constantinople, and then that other like small city you could go to later in the game.
Yeah. And then another one I saw you picked up recently, Assassin's Creed Unity. I found that particularly enjoyable because I played that with a lot of my friends back on Xbox when I used to play it. I haven't played it recently or anything, but what have you been thinking about that game so far?
Well, I haven't played too much of it. I really just kind of got past basically the prologue. Like I just got like, you know, like when you get your like assassin suit basically.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I just got to that point. I did a couple missions after that, and I think it's fun. It's a very pretty game.
Yeah, for its time especially.
I mentioned I like. Yeah, I mean, honestly, I think it's on the level of like the newer entries in the series, and I appreciate that it is a city-based Assassin's Creed. I really like that. I feel like that's where the series is best.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, my only complaint is the performance isn't quite what I'd want out of the game, but I mean, I still hit 60 frames per second, and I don't know. I think it's fun. It hits the core of Assassin's Creed.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. I just like the dynamic of all the Assassin's Creed games, especially Assassin's Creed 3, because you're like part of not like an Indian tribe necessarily. I haven't played the game in a long time, but just the fact that you had all of the different factions and stuff like that, like how George Washington was in there and everything. I just found that really entertaining.
Yeah. Well, it'll probably be, if you get your hands on it, they've got that remaster. Remember I said coming out in March.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to get that probably. Yeah, I don't know. Assassin's Creed as a whole is just a really good series. I mean, I don't see too many problems with it. I've enjoyed it ever since its first entry. Although, I have to say the first game, I didn't particularly enjoy that too much, just because it seemed pretty bland to me. I don't know if you've played that one.
I actually, you know, I went recently, I was looking at which ones to pick up, and I decided not to pick up the first one just because I did hear enough complaints about it, and I'm not too invested in the story to care to pick it up. I can just read a recap. Yeah. Although I think it set the groundwork for the series, which is of course necessary, but at the same time, it's not the greatest entry.
Yeah.
I think Altair is a cool character, and I'm glad he got touched on in Revelations.
Yeah, it was really interesting because I think he's the only one that, like, I remember in order to use the hidden blade, didn't he have to have his finger chopped off or something like that?
Yeah, he's not the only one actually, because in Origins, because I think Origins takes place before the original Assassin's Creed, like the characters story-wise, I'm not sure. But I guess minor spoiler is you have to go, like, you start like wrestling some dude to try to kill him, and in order to win the fight, you have to like, use the hidden blade when you shouldn't, and it cuts off your ring finger.
Yeah, I mean that's really. It's really interesting because it has a story behind it.
Yeah, I thought that was a cool moment for me because I did get that reference.
Yeah.
Pretty metal. I'd say.
Yeah, it was a really nice game, Assassin's Creed 1. I mean, it's just not nearly as enjoyable as any of the other ones in the series.
Yeah.
But other than that, would you like to say another game that you like, or do you want me to say another one? Talk about it.
Look at my like installed games list here. Oh, you know, because you mentioned we were gonna play For Honor soon. We had to get back into that. I think For Honor is a really fun game. And I'm really happy it got improved upon post-release because it did have a very shaky release. I'm glad it has a stable player base now, I believe. Yeah, you got anything to say about that, or
about For Honor?
Yeah,
yeah, I actually do. Because I remember when we used to play that. Oh, that was my phone. Sorry. I remember when we used to play that back in the day. You remember I'm the Orochi main actually.
Yeah, the Orochi main.
Yeah. I don't know. It's a really solid game. It was new to me because it had such a big learning curve because I've never played a such an interactive PvP game. Like you remember, I was never able to parry. I was never able to like dodge anything. I was just dying, like always, and then I could never change that because I was just horrible at the game. I don't know. Other than that, it's a really solid game. It's just that I wasn't the best at it right when I started playing it. But I really do enjoy all the different characters, like all of their different abilities and the weapons and everything. Customization in that game's like no other game that I've ever played. It's really nice.
I don't think we ever played with the expansion that came out because I think we started playing right around when that came out.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure we did. Yeah. I think we talked about. You played the test branch, right?
Yeah, I played the beta very, very briefly.
Yeah, that's what I thought. I didn't know if you played it religiously or anything like that.
Extremely briefly.
Yeah. What did you think about it in your short time in there?
Well, I played it, like I said, very, very briefly. I played 1 or 2 rounds of the new game mode Breach, and I thought that was pretty fun, if a bit slower paced than I'd like, because that's a whole like castle siege, go in, kill their general, and that felt very cool and epic, I have to say. As I hate to use the word epic, but epic gamer moments.
Epic gamer moments of 2018. It would have been back then. We haven't played in quite a while.
It's 2019.
Yeah, dude. Yeah, it's kind of hard to believe, and we actually have a birthday boy in the stream, right?
Oh, don't stop. It's not time yet. You legally can't say it.
It's not time yet. You're right. Yeah, but we do have a birthday coming up. I'm not gonna tell you guys when or anything, but just know he's pretty excited about this one.
Oh, pretty excited. Yeah, sure.
Yeah,
whatever, man.
It's a big number we're approaching here, isn't it, man?
Big 2-0.
Big 2-0, yeah.
Big 2-0.
You know, you can tell just by the raw excitement in his voice, just how happy he is to reach this milestone.
Unbridled enthusiasm.
Yes. Yeah. That's what I would call it. But yeah, so he'll be enjoying that birthday here pretty soon. It's always a nice time of the year when your birthday comes around, you know. Spend time with a little bit of your family. Yeah.
I'm not spending any time with my family, but I appreciate the sentiment.
Get a birthday cake or something? Gonna get a birthday cake?
Yeah. I actually already know what it's gonna look like, so that's pretty cool.
That's always fun, yeah.
Got spoiled, but you know, it's okay. Yes, I appreciate the spoil.
Yeah, man, cake's always good no matter what situation you're in.
Yeah.
It's
that is a good statement.
Yes.
Can I pin that?
Although
we have that flash on the screen.
We should have that flash on the screen. Here, I'll do a little paint sequence here.
Yeah, where's the production value, dude?
You know, first episode, man.
First episode. Nice excuses.
Right, I'm sorry. Okay, jeez. Me, I'm not the best at paint. Cake. Well, the cake's a healing food, you know what I mean? Like if you're feeling down in the gutter and stuff like that, you just eat a slice of cake and you're just A+, 100%. Yeah, better, good as new. I mean, that's just the power of cake.
Yeah.
What kind of cake do you what kind of cake do you enjoy? I myself like some chocolate cake.
Chocolate? Dude, honestly, I don't think there's a type of cake I've had that I can complain about.
Yeah.
I really like red velvet. I think red velvet's very fun.
Ooh, yes,
I think that's basically chocolate, isn't it?
I don't know. I
I
don't
heard
think
it's like a subcategory.
it doesn't taste
Chocolate.
anything like chocolate, but I guess it could.
Oh yeah, not at
kind
all.
of be.
Yeah.
But my grandma was actually really good at red velvet cakes. She used to make me one every single year for my birthday, and that's one thing I really enjoy about red velvet. If you make it the right way, it's like a nice hard like solid cake rather than just all those spongy things that you'd have like everywhere else. I think that's supposed to be how red velvet is, but I don't know. Maybe she just made it wrong or something. But I don't know. It's just really good, and then with the buttercream frosting that most people use on there, it's a really nice, really nice cake.
Make my mouth water here.
Yeah, dude. Although I hate to say this, cake is very good, but in some cases I prefer pie over cake. That's very controversial, I know, but pie is pretty good.
Yeah, I like French silk pie.
Yeah.
I very much get down with that, I have to say.
You know, my dad's been trying to get me into coconut cream pie for the past couple years.
Don't think I've had a coconut cream.
From him, I've heard it's really good, but he's probably biased because that's his all-time favorite. Everybody else that I ask about it says that it's not the greatest, honestly, but personally, I enjoy banana cream pie. It's my all-time favorite. It's really good.
Banana cream?
Yeah.
Yeah. Respectable.
Yeah. Other than that, I just like a regular apple pie, maybe. With the nice crumbly crust on there. It's pretty good.
The crust makes or breaks the pie. Can we agree on that?
Yes. You know, I prefer like those pre-made graham cracker crusts. I prefer those over like homemade like flaky pie crust.
Yeah.
They're just I don't know why, it's just really good to me. That's just me, man.
Let's bring it back to the the games topic. That's what we should have
we
for.
got
What are
off
some older games that you're a fan of? Like something
older games. Okay, so I don't know if anybody watching this will know what this game is, but I used to play it on my PlayStation 1 a lot. It's called Contra. Okay, so it's basically this like 2D shooter where you basically start it on the left side of the screen and you have to fight a bunch of enemies to get to your objective on the right side. It's really nice because all the maps are kind of dynamic, so stuff can fall down in your path and everything, so you have to make evasive maneuvers and everything like that. It's a really enjoyable game, but it's also makes your heart pound, dude, because it's really tense 90% of the time. So other than that, old games, I'll have to think about that for a minute. Why don't you go ahead and say one? I'll have to think for a second, then I'll come back.
Yeah, I gotta say about Contra, I haven't played it, I think, but I think I've seen it and heard of it. That sounds very familiar to me, but I just googled it and it doesn't really ring a bell.
Yeah, I used to play it with my brother and my father as well. It's a pretty enjoyable game, and it's particularly
families together.
Yeah, dude, it's particularly good because my dad would never play video games with us because we just like if we were to play Modern Warfare 2 or something like that, I would just kill him repeatedly and then he'd get kind of mad and then leave the room. But
yeah.
Other than that, I don't know. It must have been a pretty good game if it made him want to keep playing it as well because he wasn't really into the video games besides like Diablo and stuff like that. That's the only thing he really played.
Look, man, I understand not playing games with your kids because I was a nasty little screen cheater when I was young.
Yeah.
Like it was bad.
I think myself and my brother were also pretty big screen cheaters. I don't know. It's just something you have to do, man. You got to win the game.
Yeah. I remember I would play with I forget which Call of Duty it was, but I would play with like my brother and my dad.
You have a brother?
I would just run around knife only, and I just kill them in corners because I know where they were based on their screen.
Yeah, I don't know. It's a pretty bad thing to do, I guess. But I mean, it made it pretty enjoyable because you always knew where each other, like where you're the person you were playing with. You always knew where they were. And, like, I guess if you screen cheat, they're probably inclined to do it as well. So, I mean, it depends on the way you look at it. It's either fun to you or it's just horrible. I don't know.
Yeah.
But
I found it as a net fun thing because I think I did it better than everyone else. So I think if it were the other way around, I'd hate it.
Here, how about we talk about a video game that you and I used to play that we were both very competitive at? I think you know what game this is.
You know, what, Speedrunners?
Yes.
I guess.
Yes. What do you think about that game?
Hey, you want to talk about how bad you are at speedrunners?
No, you want to talk about how amazing I am at speedrunners and how often I slaughter you in that game?
I don't think that's how it happened, but sure, go ahead.
Okay, so you know, Speedrunners is a pretty fast-paced game. We can both agree on that. Um, I don't know. We used to play that a lot because that's one of the main games we used to play with our little friend group. We used to play it back in the day a little bit.
That's a little party game.
Yeah, and other than that, uh, besides speedrunners, we also used to play a lot of Dead by Daylight. But back on the topic of speedrunners, it's really fun because you have a lot of little weapons you can use to slow down your opponents and stuff. It's kind of irritating though because if you get like exploded, and then you go off the screen, you just lose immediately. There was this one thing I remember in particular. My friend Zarinth here knew this one spot where you could jump up and like cheat over this one. It's not really cheating because it was in the game, but I never knew how to do it, so he would just do that one thing, and then he would beat
Oh, you're
me.
just salty I did a shortcut better than you.
I learned how to do it a little later. I didn't even know it was in the game, but yes, I was a little salty about that at the time.
This guy.
But yeah, I mean, there's just a lot of cool things you can do in that game. There's also a level creator, so if you're creative, unlike either one of us, you can go in there and make your own levels, and then you can play on those with your friends as well. I recall a couple times. Do you remember that like Super Smash Bros. One we played?
I hate that one. I was gonna say don't be map creator and make that.
Yeah.
That is absolutely awful.
It's horrible. It ends very quickly, and I don't know. It just doesn't work in speedrunners, in my opinion. But other than that, I don't know. Speedrunner is a solid game. Really fast paced. If you have a little friend group that you like to play those kinds of party games with, I'd recommend it. Just because, I mean, it's just a solid game, you know? You know what I mean? Would you agree on
You
that?
pick it up pretty cheap too.
Yeah.
It's got unlocks for different skins and skin colors. You know, if you imagine like Smash Bros. Like skin variations, it's
Yes.
got that stuff.
It's
Who
also
doesn't
got
love
that.
skins in 2019?
Yeah, if I recall correctly, you can play as PewDiePie in that speedrunners.
You gotta pay to play as PewDiePie, which sucks. But
Yeah.
yes.
But yeah, dude, you can do that. It's kind of cool. They haven't really added too many new skins after the first ones that they added. Although I didn't really see too much content variation in that game, just because it's pretty solid right off the bat. I don't know. They don't really need to
I
add
mean,
anything
they
else.
have their core gameplay loop, and I don't think they need anything else really.
Yeah. Onto like a newer video game though. I don't think either one of us have looked into this too much, but it's that game that we were hyping it up pretty big like last year, around maybe September, a little bit earlier than
Are you
that.
talking about last year?
Last year, yeah,
It's
yeah. We've been anticipating
on
that game for a while.
Discord store, right?
Yeah, it's not on Steam or anything yet, which is kind of weird.
I think they're really shooting themselves in the foot.
Yeah, their sales would skyrocket if it was on Steam, I think, because it looks like a really solid game.
Yeah. Well, the issue is, I think a lot of people don't even look at the Discord store.
Yeah,
to
I mean,
even know about it.
I didn't even know the Discord store was in there until it offered me that free starter membership of Discord Nitro. Like, I had no idea that they had games on Discord until maybe
Yeah.
2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
I mean, it's
I just real quick. Did you download Nidhogg?
Nidhogg?
Nidhogg off the Discord store while we have
I don't believe I did. Let me see this. How do you spell it?
NID Hog with 2 G's.
Okay. Let me check this out real quick.
Because that's a game I gotta recommend
Yeah.
for us to play.
Oh, that doesn't
I
look
think
that
that'd
bad.
be
Yeah.
very fun.
I'm gonna give that a install.
Yeah,
It's got pretty good reviews on the Discord store. Looks like.
Oh, they have reviews on there.
Yeah. Well, they've got little like critic things on there.
Oh.
I see,
You know what I
like,
noticed? I hate it. I hate browsing their store. It feels so clunky.
Yeah, it does.
You're like Steam. Oh, they have Monaco on here? Oh my god.
I see they also have
Picture is
Warframe
really
in there.
good.
Yeah, it's pretty good. They have a lot of good deals on there. I mean, it's kind of like Twitch Prime in a sense.
Yeah. Sadly, you don't really get any of these like permanently, but they have like Duck Game and
Yeah,
I said I just mentioned Monaco. It's another good like co-op game.
their store fluctuates, doesn't it? Like they'll have new games every once in a while. Is that how that works?
I don't know.
I think they say like they're not really stock, but I mean they have different games every once in a while. I think.
That's incentive to keep checking out. That's good for them.
Yeah. Other than last year, The Nightmare, I'm pretty sure it's entitled.
Yeah.
Any other games that particularly interest you or anything like that? Like on Steam, anywhere, old games that you used to play, anything like that?
You know, there is one I think that was coming soon, or it might have just come out that I was looking forward to. Let me check out like Steam's new releases. Oh, you know, here's a game I'm talking about. Kenshi. You
Kenshi.
probably haven't heard of it. It's on
Kenshi.
Steam.
Sounds familiar, but I don't know.
Yeah, it was made by like one guy for the longest time, and I think he went to like a team of 3. And December it finally came out for 1.0, and I think that's a pretty great game.
Yeah.
It looks a little dated, like graphically and UI, but man, is there a lot of content there, and it's a fresh concept to me because you know how like in any RPG, you know your character is like the chosen one essentially, or you're like better than everyone else. I mean, your character starts out and literally it's like a starving bandit could walk up and kill you, and leave you like left for dead on the side of the road, and the game has some really cool mechanics to go with that. Like, I mean, you can be knocked unconscious, and then like a random traveler could come heal you, and that's the only way you don't die. You can lose limbs, and have to get robotic limbs as replacements and stuff.
Oh, that's kind of cool. Yeah.
Yeah, and then
interactive. Then
it's a squad-based game, and you recruit other like teammates, in which there's an infinite amount, I guess.
Yeah.
And I mean, your first character can die, and you just keep going. Try to get
sounds like an interesting concept, as the Dead by Daylight devs say. Straying away from that.
I'm now on mic here. Can you really repeat your last sentence?
Huh?
Or repeat your last sentence you cut out for me.
Oh, I said, sounds like an interesting concept, like the Dead by Daylight devs used to say back in the day.
I know what they used to say.
Yeah.
So,
that's where that stemmed from, anyways. I'm pretty sure.
I didn't know where that came from.
Yeah.
Thanks for teaching me some gamer history, dude.
Yeah, dude, no problem.
I'm all about my gamer history as a real gamer.
Okay, so I have to go into the subject of another game that I like. You probably know what game I'm going to talk about. It's probably one of my all-time favorites, though I hate to... it's kind of embarrassing the amount of hours I have on this game, so you probably know by just that what I'm talking about.
DayZ?
Yes, DayZ, the standalone. The game that was in alpha for a very sizable amount of years, which just recently... I'm pretty sure it went into beta not too long ago, didn't it? And then it went into beta.
I was in beta for a long time, I think.
Yeah,
was it not?
The alpha sequence was the most notable because it was very, very extensive. Other than that, though, it just got its 1.0 release a couple months ago, I believe. And
not even months. Not even months.
Maybe a month. I don't know. I think it was end of November.
Really?
End of November, beginning of December, maybe. I don't know. But anyways, I don't know. I particularly enjoyed that game back when it first released, just because I mean there wasn't too much to do. It's just the huge map that you could just go around and do whatever you wanted, really. Although there wasn't too many animations, you just run into people, kill them, rinse and repeat, and that's basically how it would always be. I really liked it though because they had all the airfields and everything, and that was like a hub for like action in the game. So you'd go there if you want to do like PvP and stuff like that.
Yeah, even I knew that, and I didn't play it too much.
Yeah.
That game was huge for streaming.
It was, yeah. Especially
that was a good one to stream.
The Arma 2 DayZ series. Shout out to my my good friend, not really friend. I wish he was my friend, but you know I'm kind of fanboying right now. One of the greatest YouTubers in my opinion, Frankie on PC. I'm sure some of you guys know him.
In 1080p, right?
He used to be in 1080p. He actually took that out of his username.
Really?
It's just Frankie on PC now. Yeah.
Man, that's crazy.
He's probably in 1440p now.
Wow. Yeah, I'm in 1440p.
Maybe even 4K, dude. You never even know. But yeah, I don't know. If you guys have never watched his Arma 2 DayZ's like Epoch series, it was really, really good. I don't know. He just had so much character development in there. It had such a good story to it, even though you could tell it was staged, kind of. I don't know, it's just a really solid series of videos, and that's kind of what brought me around to liking DayZ, because I just watched that so much, and I was like, wow, I have to play this game. So I ended up buying Arma 2 and Arma 2 Operation Arrowhead, and I sunk maybe 700 hours into that in the Epoch version of DayZ.
700?
Yeah. And following that, I was notified, sorry, that voice crack right there. I was notified of the DayZ standalone, like, alpha release, and I bought that probably, I don't know, a day after it came out. I looked into it a little bit, and it looked, I'm pretty impulsive at buying stuff like that most of the time, as you know. But, I don't know, it just looked like a really solid game from what I saw from it. I watched a decent amount of videos on the release day, and I don't know, it looked like a really good game, so I picked it up. And that's when I just started playing it. I started getting really into it. I would probably play it, I don't know, like 12 hours a day. I was addicted to that game.
You're that committed.
Yeah. And I don't know, there's just so much you can do, especially now when I haven't played it since the 1.0 release. But I don't know, just all the aspects of everything you can do, all the survival stuff. You can hunt now, I'm pretty sure. You can make a bunch of primitive stuff, like a makeshift backpack and everything like that. And I don't know, just PvP in that game was really enjoyable to me. The player interactions gave me a lot of nostalgia. Just thinking about it right now, actually, because, I don't know, I just put so much time into it, and it was such a big part of my, you know, gaming career, right? I don't know, it was a really solid game.
Yeah, man, you mentioned all that. That really takes me back. You know, the game I used to really just put way too much time into was World of Warcraft, of course. Man,
Oh, yeah.
you say 12 hours a day. I mean, I played that for over 12 hours a day. I've wasted my life on that.
Yeah.
I'm sad with...
Go ahead.
Huh?
Go ahead.
No, I'm sad with how Battle for Azeroth has turned out. You know, I was excited for that. I know you were excited for that too, but this wasn't.
Yeah, I got to level 120, you know, and I thought you and I were going to have a race to level 120, but you didn't seem particularly interested in it at first.
I was pretty bummed, I guess, man.
Yeah, I don't know. It wasn't
what I expected.
In my opinion, it wasn't that bad. They could have improved on a lot of areas of it, though. I didn't really like the new area. I don't know how you describe it, like the troll area or whatever. I forgot what it was called, to be completely honest with you. But I don't know. I just didn't really like the story of that area. I didn't really like the landscape or anything. I thought it was lacking some visuals compared to everything else that they've done prior to Battle for Azeroth. Yeah.
Because that was the biggest praise I think the expansion got outside of everything was.
I don't know, man.
Does this game look great?
I don't know. It looked nice, but it's just not the atmosphere that I really like in World of Warcraft. You know.
So what would you say you like more?
Okay, so what's that one old raid that I used to do? It's like where you go and I forgot what it was called. It's like that old. What is that, dude? Completely forgot. There's like a play going on in there and everything. What is that?
Are you thinking about calling up Stratholme?
Yeah, that's it. The Stratholme raid.
Yeah, the dungeon. Okay, you had me thrown off there.
Yeah, the new one's a raid. I'm pretty sure. I forgot. But yeah, the old dungeon. I ran that a lot just to get all the little items in there and everything because it had pretty good drops in there. Some rare stuff that you could get that you can't get anywhere else. Obviously, you remember that one really low drop chance mount that I got out of there?
Oh yeah, dude, that was pretty hype for you there.
Yeah.
I
don't know,
man.
man.
Thinking of Are you talking about your like fiery horse?
Yeah.
Are you thinking Karazhan?
Oh, Karazhan, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I don't know. I
all right.
had a hard time remembering that, but yeah, it's a really good raid. They have like the big dining hall and everything in there, and they have all the little AI in there. It's just like a bunch of spirits, I guess, and then they all attack you, so it's kind of cool. I don't know.
Yeah.
It's like a what would you call that? It's like a Castle Dracula sort of experience. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't know. I just really like that kind of atmosphere in there. And then other things I like.
More grim, kind of.
Yeah, I like Northrend. I like Icecrown Citadel. It's a really enjoyable place. It's really nice to look at, in my opinion.
Although it's good. Do you like how it looks? I know you spent enough time there farming for Invincible.
Oh yeah, probably did that over 40 times, and guess what? I still don't have Invincible.
Well, it's a 1%, I think. So
yeah. My mount was 0.8% that I got from Karazhan.
Yeah.
Yeah. So.
Well, I mean, there you go. Too bad it can't fly though.
I used up all my luck, dude.
Yeah.
But other than that, that's really all. I mean, there's so much more to World of Warcraft than what we just talked about. Even it's such an expansive world. I mean, we probably couldn't even touch on every bit of it if we stayed here all night, honestly.
Definitely not. Definitely not. How long have we been going, by the way?
Oh, it's been 35 minutes.
35 minutes? It doesn't feel like any time's passed.
Yeah, it doesn't
Chilling.
really. What do you like about World of Warcraft? Just like landscape-wise and story-wise, anything like that? Like specific quest line?
Hey, don't get me started on the landscape, man.
Yeah.
You know, whenever I play World of Warcraft and I just want to be taken back, man, log into like Silver Moon or what is it? It's not Elwyn Forest. That's
You mean the tree
No,
that
Elwyn's
Horde
the
burned
human
down?
forest.
Lol.
no, not Teldrassil.
Oh, Teldrassil. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, Teldrassil's okay. Teldrassil's okay.
Yeah.
Because I too played Night Elf like my first time opening the game because I was like 11 or something. I don't know. You know, I definitely was a kiddie.
You know, I have a question. Is this an appropriate place to touch on our happenings in Moonguard RP?
I suppose it's technically not, as long as we don't get too in detail.
Hey, you know, if you don't want to go into that, they could always check out the video that you have on your channel. It's pretty.
It's not there.
It's
Remember
not
what
there.
happened?
Oh yeah, I remember the purging.
Yeah.
Man, you need to put that back up. That was recent. That wasn't even that long ago.
I don't like it.
It's pretty.
So
it was a good video. I watched it twice. But other than that, okay. Do you want to go into a little bit of that Moonguard story then? Well, your memory is better than mine.
Which story do we want to tell?
How about the one where we kidnapped the one lady and then you were a Worgen?
Oh yeah. So the whole like shtick we had to. Because we never really set out to ERP, I guess, but it was just to like mess around. I would go around, and since I was a Worgen, I would stay in my human form, and I'd say, "Hey, come with me," and I would take out my staff, and I'd say, "Or I'll hit you with my stick," and I'd transform into a Worgen, and I'd say, "Don't make me ask twice," and then sometimes that would intimidate someone into coming with us.
Yeah.
And we got to take her one day, and I'll let you let you take it a bit from there.
Okay, so
this story.
Yeah. So this one innocent lady chose to come with us that one day after he threatened to hit her with his staff that he had there. It's a pretty intimidating staff. You know, I wouldn't mess with the guy if he pulled it out in front of me. I don't know. Other than that, when he turned into a Worgen, I'm pretty sure that's what set her off to saying, "Oh my goodness, I better go with these guys, or they're gonna do something bad to me." You know what I mean? They're gonna kill me or something. But that's not what happened at all. Yeah, but basically, after we met her, we took her over to this little, like lumber, was it like a lumber town sort of thing?
Yeah, it's anyone listening is gonna know, like, an Elwyn Forest, the lumber place to the east.
Down from Goldshire, to the east of that. We took her there, took her into that one 2-story house where it's got the bed and stuff in the back of the bottom floor. And then you go upstairs and it's got the bedroom with the bigger bed and everything, the master bedroom you could call it, I guess, if you wish to do so. And then so basically we took her up there, and in as light of terms as I can say possibly, we went to town on this poor lady, if you know what I mean. And,
I don't know if I'd call that a light term, but yeah.
Yeah, that's so we did that, and then we basically just kept swapping in and out because we're not gonna do any of that that 3-way stuff. You know what I mean? We don't roll.
Yeah,
that
yeah, we ain't gay, you know.
Yeah, we don't roll that way.
Like banned for that.
Other than that, we had her. Apparently, we hit her so hard with it one time that she died, and then I guess my Worgen friend over here had to bring her back to life with his
druidic magic.
Yeah, and
I'm skilled.
Basically, after that, she just kept dying and dying, and then she refused to talk to us. And she was role-playing, like, she was doing pretty good roleplay from the beginning to, like, this part that I'm at right now. And then she just started breaking the fourth wall, man. I don't know what happened. And then she was just like, wow, you guys suck at ERP and everything like that. And like he said previously, we didn't even set out to ERP. We were just going with the situation. But it did get pretty deep.
Brought us to the ERP.
Yeah. But, And then we
Sure.
started to talk to her a little bit more, and we forced her to tell us where her master was, and she just wouldn't. She just wouldn't give us the information. So she just left, and you know, that's pretty much it from there. I mean, it was a really entertaining experience if you were there. I don't know. It's kind of hard to explain the exact details of it, but it was really fun. To be honest with you, it was entertaining. Would you like to touch on that a little bit, or did I basically get everything?
Yeah, you got it pretty good, but I'll just add a little bit. I always find Moonguard things fun. It's the one thing that'll ever get me to log in because the people are so unique.
Yeah.
I'll say.
Yeah.
I think it's really cool.
Mm-hmm. I don't know. There's just so many different people on there. Like you'll go into the inn, right? And then there'll just be dancers everywhere. I'm just gonna say dancers, just not to offend anybody in any way, right? And I'm gonna say PG, yeah. There's a bunch of dancers in there, and there's obviously some customers, and then they're catering to their customers, obviously, because they're paying them a sizable amount of money to perform their services. And then you also have just the more crazy type of people upstairs, just quote unquote going to town with other people on the beds up there. And then you just have some weird people just having weird conversations. I don't know, it's really, I don't know, it's a really variable environment. There's so many different people, you can't even talk about all of them.
I'll call it magical.
Yeah.
Magical environment.
It's great, yeah, because it's so much. If you were to make YouTube videos here, you'd have the greatest amount of content ever, you'd never run out of it. Like, it's just...
The only issue is a lot of your content will probably get censored, but
yeah,
I think...
Get demonetized a little bit, yeah. But other than that, it's really fun most of the time. Anything else
I think it's something anyone should do, because you can, get on there free to play, and you have limited functionalities, but you can walk around and just experience the nakedness of everyone.
Yeah, and who knows, man, you might even run into a kind soul on there that will grant you membership on World of Warcraft.
Yeah.
But
well,
that's rare.
Anyone used on Moonguard, I don't know why you'd ever want membership.
Yeah, I'm not gonna go too far into this, but I happened upon this one female.
Oh no.
This one female that was particularly wealthy in the area of World of Warcraft Gold, and ended up doing some dungeon runs and everything with her, some like legacy raids and everything like that. And I don't know, she just ended up being pretty crazy, but I don't know, I just didn't want to like anger her or anything, because honestly I was trying to get some of that gold, you know what I mean? And I don't know, she just ended up being a little too crazy for my liking, and I don't know, my friend here knows the full story. I'm not going to go into it, but I was just trying to stress further that you meet some pretty interesting people in World of Warcraft.
Yeah, some people you'd probably be better off not meeting.
Yeah.
But nevertheless, you're a more grown person afterwards.
Oh, that is absolutely true.
You learn some things about a certain community as well.
Yeah. Other than that, I'm pretty sure we just touched on most of the stuff in World of Warcraft. I mean, it's just another solid game, you know. We both enjoy it. It's I would recommend it to anybody out there. My friend doesn't particularly enjoy it right now because the patches aren't doing too well, I assume. I haven't played it in a while.
Yeah, 8.1 was a bit of a flop from what I heard, and I can't be bothered to pop my only token on it.
Yeah, we're both saving our WoW tokens right now until they release a good patch so we can both kind of get back into the game in a sense. But other than that, I haven't played it recently at all. It's been at least a couple months. Which... yeah,
you hadn't played since, like, 8.0. You ran out.
Basically,
I never got back in.
Basically what I did, I bought membership with my gold not long before 8.0 came out. And then I was able to get max level in that. I was able to get some pretty good gear, do a couple of the starter dungeons and everything like that. I was never able to do the first raid though, because I didn't play when that came out. But other than that, I found it pretty enjoyable. Although, like I said, I didn't really like the scenery or anything of the new area. But all the storylines were okay, I guess. I don't know, there was obviously some that I liked more than those ones. But other than that...
I wasn't sure if you would have liked playing Alliance better, because they have an entirely different area.
You know, I've been getting my friend Zareth here to, I've been trying to get him to create an alliance character so we can experience that whole other spectrum. He's not too down with the idea though.
No, I'm a Horde forever, man. The only time I played Alliance is when I started, and then I had like one friend who was like, "Hey, dude, we should try out Horde." Tried out Horde, never went back. He stayed Alliance. He decided he wasn't for Horde. I was for Horde. Never spoke to him again.
Yeah.
Cold world.
It is a cold world indeed. And I don't know. Is there anything else you want to touch on? There's a pretty hefty 45 minutes we're at right now. Unless you want to touch on anything else.
You know, I suppose we could go about, you know, finishing up here, I guess. You know, put an end to things.
Yeah, okay, so if you guys enjoyed this episode of XNX Talk, obviously we're amateurs at this, so we're not too well versed in the area of podcasts or YouTube series at all.
Well, let me interject here. You can't use the word amateur. You have to use the term up-and-coming professionals.
We're up-and-coming professionals in the podcast area, although we're not too well versed as of right now, although we did try our best with this episode. So if you guys enjoyed it, drop a like on this video, you know what I mean? I'm gonna do the corny every single YouTuber lines right here. Be sure to smash that subscribe button with your what's that one hammer in World of Warcraft? That big golden one that I had that one time. Smash it with your dwarven hammer from the Elder Scrolls V Skyrim. But other than that, would you like to say a formal goodbye, my friend?
Well, you know, I really just got to rehash what you said. Thanks for tuning in, anyone that caught it live or anyone watching the VOD. And we will see you most likely next week. Thank you.
Yep. Everybody watching this, take care, and we will see you next time. As my friend said, farewell and